It all has to do with the control of education in this country, the control of our religious thinking, our minds, our government, our money, our lives. Everything from your corner drugstore is influenced by Freemasonry, secret societies, occult orders, and politics of the scientific kind. Our founding fathers would probably turn over in their grave if they saw what happened to us and how we've been deflected from our purpose and our mission in the world to become nothing but pawns in a game. Even the Liberty Bell, the symbol of liberty, an equal Liberty Bell, identical with the same crack, is found in Moscow. It's a very famous Liberty Bell of Moscow with the same crack. It becomes known as a symbol, the symbol of the Brotherhood of the Bell. Bel being B-E-L, the ancient god in the Mesopotamian Valley, being the one that we call Beelzebub or Belteshazzar or Yahweh. There are too many symbols, too many things going on in our world that we're just not aware of in this busy time in which we live, that it's time that we took time to look around us, see the emblems of power, see the emblems and seals of our government. Look at the dollar bill instead of trying to earn one. Just look at one for a change. Look on the front at the Masonic emblems on it. Look at the back, the Masonic emblems there. Ask yourself why it is that our country operates the way it does. And is there a rhyme and reason to the way things happen? When you understand that General Motors, Ford Motor Company, and all other corporations in the world have an agenda, they don't just wake up every morning and decide what they're going to do. Large, very large international corporations have to make plans for tomorrow, for next week, for next year. When you have hundreds of thousands of people on a payroll, you can't afford to wait till the last minute to decide what you're going to do. The ship of state is far too large to turn around just overnight. It's like a giant ocean liner. The ship of state is a very large vessel. You have to make plans for it. You have to direct the people. You have to concentrate your power. You have to concentrate the people's attention on certain things in order to get them to go in the direction that you want them to. We are a very large and powerful people in America. So our masters have to direct our thinking for us and prepare us in advance for their plans, for their hidden agendas. And of course, like docile sheep, we just go along to get along because we don't know any more about it than what we see on television. There's about time that we look into this world that we live in and examine who we are, why we're doing what we're doing, and where we're going. That's the purpose for what we're trying to do. As we said before, we're not trying to explain in detail everything because we can't. But we're trying to make you aware that there is an enormous world of material out there that you should be concerned with and know about, and it's our purpose to provide you with that material. You will find that the many things that we have collected on the secret societies, our government, governments of the world, Freemasonry, are just fascinating. When we remember that Abraham Lincoln was the first president to break all diplomatic ties with the Vatican in the 1860s, diplomatic ties continued broken with the United States until the coming of President Ronald Reagan. He reestablished full diplomatic ties with the Vatican, the first president since Lincoln to do so. His next official act was to travel to Europe at least 3 times to meet in private with the Pope. We were not told what was discussed. Later, the Pope is a host to other summit meetings. And then, of course, Ronald Reagan leaves the United States to go to Europe to visit the war dead, we are told, and he ends up at Pittsburgh Cemetery, the burial spot for the Nazi SS officers. We have to wonder what was going on. Did Ronald Reagan not know that he was going to a Nazi burial spot? Well, of course he did. He's not a fool. And there are no such a thing as mistakes made by presidents. That is a cover-up. When we see things happening on the world scene and we say, well, the president made a mistake and the government made a mistake, you have to know that in a government the size of the one that governs the United States, they don't make mistakes. They're well-calculated moves. They know what they're doing. They have an agenda. They have an idea, a purpose. So they don't make mistakes. Ronald Reagan's going to Pittsburgh was purposely done. It signals something to secret societies. The Gulf crisis today, there are many innuendos and things that are being said which lead one to understand that there's more going on in the Middle East than what we're told about. And as we said before, it has little to nothing to do with oil, little to nothing to do with a threat against this country, because this country has no threat. We have some interesting titles, some very interesting book showing Freemasonry, the Order of Malta with the Pope, Rome, the double-headed eagle, England, Freemasonic symbols, all Freemasonic in relation to Christianity, or should I say Jehovah's Witnesses' brand of Christianity. We have such books as Christian by Degrees, Masonic Religion Revealed in the Light of the Faith in Jehovah, Testament for a New World, given to us being the 7 books containing essential spiritual wisdom, given to us by the Knights Templars. The table of contents reveals the Book of Jehovah and the Book of Jehovah's Kingdom on Earth, Jehovah's Kingdom on Earth with the Knights Templar emblem. We see that Jehovah's Kingdom on Earth is nothing more than a Masonic kingdom, like the British United Kingdom. Jehovah's Witnesses, along with the Mormon Friends, Seventh-day Adventists, and as we said, all the other York Rite Masonic cults in America are spreading. They are the shock troops, so to speak, for Freemasonry to take the message of the kingdom to the rest of us in this nation to accept their Masonic kingdom. And they, unbeknownst to themselves, are the forerunners for a new world order that they have no idea in this world is coming. They have been duped, and they are too proud and arrogant to understand that. Here we have a book called The Teachings of Freemasonry. And we'll find that on the book of Teachings of Freemasonry, you have the Jewish Star of David, because in fact, Freemasonry is Jewish. Freemasonry has always known that its greatest enemy in Western civilization is Rome. And that's why there has always been this animosity between the Catholic Church and Judaism. There has always been this animosity between the Catholic Church and Judaism. The Jews were persecuted in the old country, in Europe, and there still remains that animosity between Judaism and the Catholic movement today. But not because of religion, but because of the secret societies that operate behind both of those organizations.